safe. So what is a money scam? A money scam is when someone tries to trick you, often using scare tactics to get personal and confidential information from you in order to get money from you. These are illegitimate companies or organizations and can be impersonating your bank or the Canadian Revenue Agency. So different types of money scams. There are several types of money scams, and there's multiple different ways to fall victim to a money scam. So here are some common ones to look out for. Fake calls from the Canadian Revenue Agency that are threatening you. Gift cards, lottery, and sweepstakes. A free offer from a company usually will come with the fine print as well. Credit repair scams and loan schemes, an advance fee, and there are also donation scams where your money will just go nowhere that you believe is going. And sometimes the person scamming you could even be a loved one. And this is known as financial abuse. Okay, so let's just start with financial abuse. So financial abuse often comes from people close to you, such as a friend, family member, or a caregiver, and this is someone that takes advantage of you. It can look like someone continually borrowing money and never paying it back, lying to you to get money, controlling your finances and not giving you access, or just straight up taking money from you without asking. And it's always going to be financial abuse if you're unaware or just the fact that they're taking it from you. If you're being financially abused, reach out to your bank, tell a trusted friend, and change PINs and passwords to cut off access, and the bank will help you out from there. All right, now CRA scams. So this is the Canadian Revenue Agency, and one of the most common scams out there is in the form of a fake CRA call or a message from the CRA. So someone pretending to be a representative of the Canada Revenue Agency will call you demanding an immediate payment. They may be using language to try and scare you, such as threatening an arrest warrant if you don't play along immediately and pay the money. So I just want to let you know that the CRA will never request money this way. If you owe money, they will notify you via mail, or you can securely log into your CRA account and it will let you know there as well. But any calls or emails coming from the government are usually non-response or they're a scam. All right, now for gift cards. This type of scammer will ask you for money or payment by gift cards, and they will ask you to purchase the gift card and provide them with the numbers and PIN on the card. The scammer also will wipe the card clean. Oftentimes, folks are asked to buy more gift cards and end up paying hundreds of dollars for the gift cards. So, like any other type of scam, they are promised an item or service and it's never provided. And gift cards will never be asked for as payments by any reputable business or service. If you do have a gift card, it's your own personal choice to pay with it. And they will never ask you to pay with a gift card or what exactly you're going to be paying with because it's up to you to decide how you're paying, and no organization should make a suggestion of what method you pay with. All right, and now for lottery and sweepstakes scams. It's not uncommon for folks to get phone calls, texts, emails, or even pop up ads stating they've won some type of lottery or free trip that they never even signed up for. Or maybe you'll get something that says quick chance to win, something like that. And these scams will ask you to pay just the taxes or a processing fee or ask for your banking information to make a deposit. The scammer can use this information to make withdrawals from your account afterwards. So it's best to always completely verify a trip. And remember, even if you booked one or if you signed up for a sweepstake in the first place, because you will not win a trip to something without actually applying to win one. All right, and free offers. So these scams promise free goods and services in it, like a lottery and a sweepstakes scam. You may be asked to pay shipping fees, but once they have your bank information, they'll charge you for additional purchases and different items. So just remember, nothing is ever free. I'm sure you already know this. There's always something for something. It's always a give and take. So always read the fine print to ensure you know what you're signing up for. Next is credit repair and loan schemes. So a credit repair scheme often states that they can fix your credit score by deleting negative information from your credit report in exchange for a high fee. And the thing is, you cannot repair your credit, you can only rebuild it. So you need to take you need to work on it yourself and practice good credit skills to rebuild your credit. No one could just come in and completely repair it for a fee. You're still going to have bad credit in the end or be in a similar predicament. And loan schemes are when scammers give you a loan to help repair your credit score without actually giving you any funds at all. And by paying off a fake loan, money continues to be taken from your account and your credit score stays the same. So that's the difference. So for a loan scheme, your credit score just remains the same. And for the credit repair scheme, they promise to rebuild it and they don't rebuild it. Okay, now an advanced fee scam. Advanced fee scams are incredibly common. Many scams fall under this umbrella. An advanced scam will promise a product or service and ask you to pay for it in advance. Once they get your money, they will either not provide any goods or services, or they will do a bad job of service that they offer. So It's not uncommon for some services to require a deposit at first, but paying for something in full advance is never a good idea. You need to know at least what you're getting and get the service or product first before you pay, or at least know what you're in for. All right, and now fake charity and donation scams. So these type of scams prey on the public's eye. Sorry, not the public's eye. These type of scams prey on the public's sympathy by taking advantage of tragedies such as natural disasters, sick children, and terrorist attacks. And these scams can pose as relief organizations with the promise of sending donations to victims. So the thing with a fake charity or donation scam is they will always appear as a savior figure, and they will always appear as very helpful, and that's kind of what brings people in to pay for donation scams. And it's because it plays on your sense of your emotions and guilt. So scammers will make fake emails and fake websites where donations will go directly to them. But you can always verify charities with the Canadian Revenue Agency. And now, how to spot a scam. There are several ways to spot scams, and there are many ways that a scammer will try to reach you. But a few examples is if the messaging is coming by phone, email, or text. Many scammers will approach in more of a fast-paced, aggressive style and very assertive. They will demand immediate payment and will be threatening you and try to play on your fears to make you spend money as soon as possible so they can collect the money and go. Something to look out for is maybe bad grammar and spelling. Any legitimate organization or company will ensure correct spelling and grammar in their correspondence. And high pressure tactics are often used as a means to get money and get it fast. So by pressuring someone, they are hoping the person will rush you to pay them and without taking the time to think about what may be happening. So maybe if someone's very, very eager and consistent, it might be the sign that they're a scammer because it's appearing that there's more in it for them than for you. All right, and how to stay safe. Be very mindful of who you're giving any financial information to. Make sure that they are trustworthy and credible, and you genuinely know who they are. Think critically about who is contacting you and maybe why. Is what they're saying true? Is this a legitimate service that they are offering? And is this person actually who they say they are? Is this actually their job? Are they actually skilled? And are they actually, able to practice this? Um, and next is use strong passwords to protect your accounts. So it's always important to have a strong password. And the way that the internet is set up now, if you have a Google account or something like that, it can save a hard drive of all your passwords in one place. And it can do predictive passwords for you and make them for you so you never have to actually write down or know your passwords. The internet will just know them for you. Or, of course, you can go the traditional way and make your own long password. It's always important to switch it up and have a variety, though, because if you have one password and someone gets it, there's a high chance they can get into all of your information and all of your accounts. Also, be careful of clicking fake links and emails. Double check the sender's email address and check the email for any clues that they might not be legit. So, for this, for emails, usually it will be from a credible organization. So, maybe it will be Scotiabank or TD Bank, or it will be Canadian Revenue Agency, Government of Canada. But how to spot if the email is actually fake, despite if it looks very real, is to press from who the sender is and make sure that it's a real email. It will most oftentimes be misspelled and look very similar, or it will just have random characters in it that's not actually of the company. Right? And trust your intuition. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. And also try not to be stubborn and take advantage of a situation that seems to be too good to be true. If someone's warning you that you might be getting scammed, you should always listen to other people's advice and other people's opinions. It's always good to have a second opinion and not just try to make these decisions by yourself. And lastly, don't give out personal information on unsolicited calls if you didn't call them. You don't know who you are really talking to. And I forgot to say this earlier, but I just wanted to add that another way that if they constantly contact you, maybe by the phone and not by messaging or mail, it can also be scam like behavior because they don't want to have any written documentation of your conversations, but you're still confirming things verbally. So that's also another scam tactic. So the best way to identify and keep yourself safe from scams is to do in-depth research, look at reviews, and you can Google about different companies. Canadian charities can be verified with the Canadian Revenue Agency. And if you look up the company or organization who is contacting you, you should be able to find their contact information. Double check to ensure that the contact lines up with their official contact information as well. And your credit card will have a phone number on the back that you can call to also verify if it's real and also just track your transactions. And lastly, or I don't know if this is lastly yet, but we're getting along there, how to protect your social insurance number. So your social insurance number is confidential and should only be provided when it's legally required. So that is if it's by a job or someone that's going to be paying you, they will require your social insurance number. So if you think someone is using your SIN number and um, for you or on your behalf, like scam like behavior, it's important to inform your bank and contact the Canadian Anti-Fraud Center. So when do you need to provide your SIN number? It's either to employers, income tax information, or child support payments. And when you don't need to provide your SIN number is for a job application before you are hired, proving your identity, or cashing in a check. So if you want to see the complete list of what your SIM card is for and how to protect it, you can visit canada.ca under SIM cards. All right, and what to do if you've been scammed. If you have been scammed, contact your bank or credit card company and inform them of what has happened and report any unauthorized transactions. It's always most important to call the bank first. If you've been scammed, you might be upset and want to call the police, but this is not under jurisdiction and it actually creates more of troubles and more legal fees. So it's always best to go the bank route or credit card company route. And also change your passwords to your accounts immediately, so the same scammers cannot get back into your account. And it's also important to file a report with the local police if you want to. But as I said, it's always better to go with the bank first. If it's a big scam and it's a lot of money, then you can go to the police. But scams under a certain amount of money, they will not even look towards or treat it as a case. And report scams to the Canadian Anti-Fraud Center. All right. Before the Q&A, I just want to do a quick video. So I'm going to quickly stop sharing the screen and then share it again. So this video is just a quick TED Talk, and it's how to spot a pyramid scheme.
In 2004, a new company called Vima Nutrition started offering a life-changing opportunity to earn full-time income for part-time work. Vima's offer was open to everybody, regardless of prior experience or education. There were only 2 steps to get started earning. Purchase a $500 to $600 kit of their liquid nutrition products and recruit 2 more members to do the same. Vima Nutrition Company grew quickly, becoming a global operation that brought in 30,000 new members per month at its peak. There was just one problem. While the company generated $200 million of annual revenue by 2013, the vast majority of participants earned less than they paid in. Vima was eventually charged with operating a pyramid scheme, a common type of fraud where members make money by recruiting more people to buy in. Typically, the founder solicits an initial group of people to buy in and promote the scheme. They are then encouraged to recruit others and promised part of the money those people invest, while the founder also takes a share. The pattern repeats for each group of new participants, with money from recent arrivals funneled to those who recruited them. This differs from a Ponzi scheme, where the founders recruit new members and secretly use their fees to pay existing members, who think the payments come from a legitimate investment. As a pyramid scheme grows, it becomes increasingly difficult for new recruits to make money. That's because the number of participants expands exponentially. Take a structure where each person has to recruit 6 people to earn a profit. The founder recruits 6 people to start, and each of them recruits 6 more. There are 36 people in that second round of recruits, who then each recruit 6 people, a total of 216 new recruits. By the 12th round of recruiting, the 2.1 billion newest members would have to recruit over 13 billion more people total to make money, more than the entire world population. In this scenario, the most recent recruits, over 80% of the scheme's participants, lose all the money they paid in. And in real life, many earlier joiners lose out too. Pyramid schemes are illegal in most countries, but they can be difficult to detect. They're presented as many different things, including gifting groups, investment clubs, and multi-level marketing businesses. The distinction between pyramid schemes and legitimate multi-level marketing can be particularly hazy. In theory, the difference is that the members of the multi-level marketing companies primarily earn compensation from selling a particular product or a service to retail customers, while pyramid schemes primarily compensate members for recruitment of new sellers. In practice, though, many multi-level marketing companies make it all but impossible for members to profit purely through sales. And many pyramid schemes, like Vima Nutrition, disguise themselves as legal multi-level marketing businesses, using a product or service to hide the pay and recruit structure. Many pyramid schemes also capitalize on already existing trust within churches, immigrant communities, or other tightly knit groups. The first few members are encouraged to report a good experience before they actually start making a profit. Others in their network follow their example, and the schemes balloon in size before it becomes clear that most members aren't actually profiting. Often, the victims are embarrassed into silence. Pyramid schemes entice people with the promise of opportunity and empowerment, So when members don't end up making money, they can blame themselves rather than the scheme, thinking they weren't tenacious enough to earn the returns promised. Some victims keep trying, investing in multiple schemes and losing money each time. In spite of all these factors, there are ways to spot a pyramid scheme. Time pressure is one red flag. Be wary of directives to act now or miss a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Promises of large, life-altering amounts of income are also suspect. And finally, a legitimate multi-level marketing business shouldn't require members to pay for the opportunity to sell a product or service. Pyramid schemes can be incredibly destructive to individuals, communities, and even entire countries. But you can fight fire with fire by sending this video to 3 people you know and encouraging them to do the same. While we're at it, here are a couple other things we can help you keep an eye out for.
Okay. And then we're just going to go back to the Q&A portion of the presentation.
Guess we should start the Q&A.
Yep. I'm sharing the screen again. All right. So now for open discussion in the Q&A.
Ooh.
Oh, that's just the references. Okay. Well, I'll just open the discussion up. I have a lot of things to say about this topic. Did you want to say something first?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I want to say that all lotteries in Canada must be licensed either municipally, provincially, or federally. So in other words, we can just say like a lottery must be through like the lottery store.
Okay. So like from a registered convenience store or a lottery store in Canada. It should never be from maybe someone selling you a lottery ticket.
Yeah, and lotteries like the Princess Margaret might be through Lotteries Canada. I'm not sure if that's what they call it, but like a lottery like that should have to be licensed through Lotteries Canada.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to share some stuff about maybe pyramid schemes because I have actually fallen for one before. And I just want to tell you a bit about the warning signs and basically what was happening to see if maybe it's happened to you as well. And if anyone can relate and tell me their story as well. So what had happened was I was introduced to a chance to open up a tax-free savings account and life insurance. But the thing is, the money was going into the life insurance account and it wasn't coming back out to me. So I was putting money in every month over time, but in the fine print, the soonest I could take it out was after 10 years of loyalty and putting it in. So that's basically what I fell for. And how it happened is the recruiter was very, very persistent and they were calling me very often. It presented as a real legitimate business and the opportunity to better your future by creating life insurance for myself. And it was also someone that was familiar to me. So it's very, very easy to be susceptible to a money scam. But the way I got out of it is I did call the bank and I had to be very aggressive and assertive back. I made a lot of threats back to who recruited me, and I had said that I alerted the police. I made it clear that all the conversation was being documented now, and basically you just have to play your power back and let them know that you're not playing with your own money. So does anyone have a personal experience maybe getting into a pyramid scheme or being scammed before?
I've had it a few times where someone's tried to call me and they told me that that I won some lotteries. I've had that happen. They tried to tell me that some money was spent on my credit card. like my Visa, I said I spent on like 2,000. I said, how could that possibly be? I still have my credit card. And if it was from the bank, I would have known in some other way.
So a great way to just avoid this and maybe getting anxiety or getting fear from these calls is to just avoid answering any unsaved numbers, because that will really help you to filter out who's a scammer and who's not.
It's sometimes hard to tell who the fake numbers are quickly, but sometimes, but I can tell before it even gets far. I can just tell how the call started, and then within a few seconds, I'll just say I'll just say to them, "You're fake." I'm hanging up, and I hang up right then and there, and they're gone.
Yeah. If anyone else doesn't have a story, I have another one I'd like to share. This actually had happened to my grandma quite recently. So she got a call from someone internationally, and they said that they were basically royalty and they were worth millions of dollars, but they did not have access to the money. And in return for my grandmother sending $1,000, they would give her one of their millions. And the thing is, my grandma had told people about this, and we all told her that this is a scam. But she really wanted to get this money, so she went to several different banks. And even though the banks turned her away and said this is scam-like behavior, she was very persistent to try to get this money and went through trying to get it. So she eventually sent the money, and then he, of course, created different excuses, saying that, oh, actually, I'm gonna need a little bit more. The money's still locked up. This $1,000 is not enough, and I need more. And it went on a bit until our family members had intervened and took her card away and made her stop like giving money. So I think it's also very important to speak about your financial issues with other people, or if something sketchy comes up, bring it up with others so they can offer a second opinion and let you know if they think you're being scammed as well, rather than going at it alone.
And if possible, record the calls if you're playing with
Yes,
something like that.
it's also good to report the calls and the numbers.
Not just take notes, but actually physically record the calls. That's why Bell and stuff should be offering a new service called Bell Call Record.
Yeah, because it's actually very hard to record calls. You would usually need to do it with another device, and then you don't usually have it on you at the time that a call would happen. But it's a very tricky situation. You have to play a money scam very smart when you find out that you're being scammed.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, when you do change your attitude towards them, and they catch on that that you figured out it's a scam, they will try to disappear and be unable to contact at that point. So it's best to maybe go, before you let them know that you think you're being scammed, go to your bank, go to the police, and go to your other resources first before you let them catch on that you're being scammed. Because then it will make it a lot more difficult to be contacted and reached. Does anyone else have any other stories they want to add?
One other thing you should be doing, everybody should be doing, keep your system software up to date.
Yes. Because that's how people on the internet can hack your software and stuff with older software updates.
Yeah, that's right. They can get access to your financial information, your intellectual property, all kinds of stuff that you don't want them to get.
And also, depending on the type of laptop you have or software, it's also important to have antivirus apps on your device.
Absolutely. And which I have not been doing, which everybody should be doing, is virtual private networks too.
Can you explain a bit of that? I haven't heard of that.
Okay, what it is, it's a way of being able to use the internet without the companies being able to find out where you are exactly and stuff, and what IP addresses you're using and stuff.
Okay. So that sounds like it would be really good at defending you from giving away maybe like credit card information in case you're on a illegitimate site.
Yeah. But the
Okay.
data, like, see, with VPNs, the data that you're supposed to be sending to the person will go to the correct person, and they'll send data back to you, but they can't determine where you're from.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good extra layer of protection.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Sorry.
I can't think of anything more right now.
Ron.
Thank you. Yeah, when I got my computer, Best Buy put on Bitdefender, which is an antivirus software,
Okay.
and it has something on it called SafePay. And right away, when I go to to pay a bill, it opens up, but I don't ask it to open up. It just opens up with financial institution. And I'm hesitant to use it because it's a layer on top, even though it's part of Bitdefender. Bitdefender didn't come with a manual, and no one explained it to me. So, it's totally fine and legal. It's just I get a bit apprehensive because it just pops up on its own.
It's like overriding like your other banking information and stuff. And
yeah, and the bank told me our site is secure already, and
yeah, so that is a bit weird.
yeah, and Bitdefender actually, but the Bitdefender also has something that comes with the base unit, which is a very small amount of VPN, like for 15 minutes. So instead of using that extra layer that comes up, I do turn on this 15 minutes of VPN that I get with Bitdefender.
Okay. So if the safety pay was making you uncomfortable, even if it's still like legit, I think you should just uninstall it if your banking information is already secure and the banking apps you're going on are already secure.
Right. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, you can also, I have Bitdefender. I've had the same thing coming up, but I was confused with it a bit.
Right.
I think there is a manual online at the bitdefender.com website, I believe.
Okay. So in your experience, is this legitimate, this extra layer? I mean, is there any concern that since the bank already has a secure site?
As far as I know, I've never really used it, the
Okay.
SafePay thing, but I know it's legitimate because I know it's through Bitdefender because I knew about it from some other way. I don't remember how I knew, but I knew that it was part of Bitdefender. You know what I mean?
Right. But you've never used it anyway. Yeah.
No, it was confusing me.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Maybe there is like a setting you can do to turn that off from popping up every time, but still have the Bitdefender on your device.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what
there is, and I did do that. And every so often it'll ask me, do you want to use SafePay with this website? I just simply click no.
Okay.
You can also talk to Geek Squad about the program because that's what they install on computers when you get the security package from them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Did anyone have any other questions or anything they wanted to add to the topic of money scams?
When I see phone numbers that have this other long number on top, it always seems to be some kind of sales call or potentially scam. So I don't answer numbers where you could see somebody's name or it could say unknown, which also makes it, so you're saying don't even answer calls when you don't know calling you.
Yeah, because that gives them more of the opportunity once you answer to start like saying things that can trigger into fears that make you want to purchase something. So if you don't answer at all in the first place, then you can skip that whole second step of, oh, this might be real. I might have to send the money.
Yes.
But you got to be careful with that, because sometimes, like for example, I know, let's say I know I'm going to be getting a call from my doctor, and I know it's going to be coming from private. It's going to say private on it. I know that those some calls that say there's no name and number, those are actually also legitimate calls.
Yes.
Maybe you could try to sort of probe them and see if they know any of your personal information. So your doctor would, of course, know who you are and some personal information and confirm the appointment if you have one. But a scammer might just know your name at the first 4 digits of your card, but not the last. So like, there's things they won't know that they should know that will let you know that they're a scammer.
Yeah, and if you know your doctor, you're going to know that you're going to know your doctor's voice anyway.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So, any other comments?
If nobody has any more questions, I think that we will conclude now. Again, I would like to thank Nick for coming and joining us today. I really appreciate you coming to do our money scams and financial abuse session. I'd also like to thank everybody else for coming to participate. Again, it's always an adventure and an amazing time with you guys. Our next session is going to be on Thursday, and it's going to be computer literacy. So at 11 a.m., just like today, and it's going to be the same link as always. So I will see you guys then. Thank you.
Bye.
Oh, by the way,
Bye.
You look funny in that mask, even though we're virtual.
Yeah, I know, because we're, you know what, because we're in the office, we got to keep the mask on all the time.
Yeah, but if you have nobody in front of you, if you're more than 2 meters apart, you can take your mask off.
Yeah, I have
Especially if
people
you're
more
vaccinated.
closer than